Hello again, my beautiful people, Jamaican youth in the building, yet again with another video. And in this video, we're talking about the impasse between the Jamaica Reggae Girlz and the JFF, and it leading to what is now a non-qualification of the inaugural Women's Gold Cup to be held in 2024. We want to get into it. It's not a pretty topic to talk about because for me, I really prefer to stick to talking about football. That's what I like to do. But I cannot ignore this because I have some things, how I feel about this and I want to say it. I've sat and listened to the entire discourse, heard from the JFF and heard from the Reggae Girlz. And to be honest with you, depending on who you hear, your opinion tend to sway one way or the other, but when you hear everybody, you kind of can put everything together and, you can kind of form your own opinion, but it's not a very pretty, not pretty at all. It's very unprofessional, and we shouldn't really want to accept this really unacceptable behavior from the JFF and the Reggae Girlz. And I know some of the things I'm going to say in this, a lot of people are not going to like, but I'm going to say it anyway because I have a right to my opinion. So anyway, before we get into it, just want to ask if you do the usual, hit the like button. Because if you hit the like button, it will help send out the video to more eyes. And if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button, as that will help the channel to grow, and we would really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The impasse between the JFF and the Reggae Girlz, it is unprofessional. It is not a good international look. We just hear this constant bickering in the media, whether local or international, local as in the Jamaican media or the international media, about, the JFF and the Reggae Girlz and they're fighting. And, the fighting has led to us not qualifying for World Cup. So who won this fight? Who won? We didn't win as fans. We don't get to see the Reggae Girlz play next year in the Gold Cup. The JFF didn't win because, if the girls had gone to the Gold Cup, the JFF would have got more money in their coffers. And the Reggae Girlz don't win because no, they don't have any competitive games coming up anytime soon for more than a year, from what I understand. And some of these girls that played in the World Cup, they might have to end up retired. Some of them probably played the last game for Jamaica in that last Canada game and didn't even know that would have been their last game. They signed up for something that, kind of turned out and to have egg on everybody's face. Egg is on the JFF face, egg is on the Reggae Girlz face, and egg is on our face as fans too. Nobody wins in this. We all lose. So I'm going to talk about a few things. The first major thing I want to talk about is Jamaica failed to qualify for the inaugural Women's Gold Cup. That's number one. We didn't field our best squad. We didn't field our best women's football squad because we pretty much had to pick a second string team. And I don't mean any disrespect to the team that went out and played. They did the best that they could, and we can't be mad at them, even though there were some blatant, errors like giving up 2 penalties, like, like not scoring easy chances and all of that. We can go on and on and on. But the truth of the matter is that we were never really expecting this team to do the same type of job like the A team or the World Cup squad would have done. Had they qualified for the World Cup, that would have been, bonus. But, we never expect really to happen. So I'm not even really mad at the girls that went out there and played. I applaud them for showing up for Jamaica and representing their country. I give thanks for that. So kudos to you girls. Now, that's my first point. So that's disappointment number one. It's probably the biggest disappointment of this whole impasse. And, how did this impasse even begin? Before I get to my next point, I just want to talk about a little bit of the timeline of how this impasse even began. So September 29, we hear that Lorne Donaldson, CBS is reporting that Lorne Donaldson's contract is not going to be renewed by the JFF. Lorne Donaldson's contract as coach of the Jamaica Reggae Girlz will not be renewed, and that's the end of it, September 29. By this time, they had played Canada in the playoff for the final Olympic spot from Concacaf, and they lost. So now we're getting rid of Lorne Donaldson. So that happened. Then on October 18, a few weeks later, the World Cup squad withdraws their service from competing in the Women's Gold Cup. So notice that. September 29, Lorne Donaldson is fired. October 18, the World Cup squad withdraws their services from the World Cup. Coming back to that in a second. October 20, the JFF suspends the players from having any type of selection eligibility. I mean, of course, that is just meant nothing. The girls withdrew their services. So how are you gonna suspend them if they are not there to be suspended anyway? So anyway, JFF do that. That's an egotistic move by the JFF. Because what message are you trying to send by saying we're suspending you even after they have said they're not showing up? What are you trying to prove? October 27, JFF comes out and say the JFF has paid the full balance of the outstanding monies to the World Cup squad, and they are now making arrangements to pay the girls who helped the girls qualify for the World Cup but are not in the squad. So the girls that they use in the qualifying rounds that were not in the World Cup squad, those are the ones they're making arrangements to pay. But in terms of the World Cup squad, they are saying on October 27, the JFF, they're saying that they have paid everybody in full. All right, that's October 27. On December 1, we saw that famous Sportsmax interview with Bonnie Shaw and Sportsmax. Took a while for the girls to come out and speak, but they came out on December 1. Half the World Cup players has not received match fees. They've only received per diem. This is Bonnie Shaw's words on that Sportsmax interview, December 1. Bonnie Shaw says, half the World Cup players have not received their match fees. They've only received per diem. That's half of the World Cup squad. So how is it that the JFF has come out and said that they have paid the World Cup squad in full, and the only people that they owe that they're now making arrangements to pay is the people who helped them qualify for the World Cup that are not in the World Cup squad or didn't make the World Cup squad? So who is telling the truth? Is it Bonnie Shaw telling the truth to say that half the squad hasn't received their money? Or is it the JFF telling the truth, saying that we have paid all the World Cup squad in full? Who knows? And then on December 3, which was yesterday, Jamaica fails to qualify for the Women's W Gold Cup, which was my first point, the most disappointing thing. I think this impasse and the fighting between the JFF and the Reggae Girlz, it culminated in the non-qualification of Jamaica to the inaugural Women's Gold Cup. A huge opportunity missed. Huge opportunity missed. And as I said, we all lose. The JFF loses, the Reggae Girlz loses, and we as fans have lost because the people couldn't be adults in the room. Look, both people are at fault. The Reggae Girlz and the JFF are at fault. And a lot of people don't want to admit it. They prefer to put all the blame on the JFF. And I have a difference of opinion. Let me put it that way. I have a difference of opinion. I don't believe that the JFF is 100% at fault in this. And I don't believe that the Reggae Girlz are 100% at fault in this. I think both of them shares blame in this. I think there's an ego problem on both sides. There's an ego problem on the Reggae Girlz side, and there's an ego problem on the JFF side. That's what I think. That's my opinion. You're allowed to have yours. So, it leads me to my second point. And I have that JFF, you are wrong. And I put the JFF first because you are the federation. You are the administrators of football in Jamaica. So the buck stops with you. So anything goes wrong in Jamaica's football, the buck stops with you. You take credit when a team qualifies for the World Cup, don't you, JFF? You take the credit when a team qualifies for the World Cup. So if a team fails to qualify for the World Cup, you also have to take the blame. Whatever goes wrong in Jamaica's football, you have to take the blame for it. Because you conversely take the credit for if things go right. So here's why I think you are wrong, JFF. You are wrong for not negotiating in good faith. You already had an ulterior motive. You already took an action when you tried to negotiate with the girls. Yeah? Now, you could say that you negotiated a contract long before the impasse and the girls didn't honor the contract. Right? But the girls are reporting that there are issues that they faced on the World Cup journey that would have meant that you, JFF, breached your side of the contract. You know, that's what they have said. So, you know, in the court of public opinion, or even in a real court, if you're going to come, JFF, and say the Reggae Girlz breached their contract because you have said as much, you have to come with clean hands. Your hands have to be clean, meaning that you cannot also be at fault and then point out to that, oh, look at the Reggae Girlz over there, they're at fault too. It's just like in a court, right? If I steal let's say I steal a backpack, a JanSport. Jamaicans know what a JanSport is. Let's say I thief a JanSport from Western Sports or something like that. I put it in Jamaican parlance because some of you know Western Sports. Let's say I thief a JanSport from Western Sport, right? I'm going to have it, right? And a man see the JanSport there, like the JanSport, and thief it back from me, right? Me can't go to court and sue the man who thief the JanSport from me because I thief me, the thief it. The judge is going to look at you and say, and if the judge finds out that you stole that JanSport, he's not going to allow you to sue the guy who stole the JanSport from you because your hands weren't clean. Your hands were dirty. You stole the JanSport. So you can't come and sue the next man. In the same way, JFF, if you breached the contract, you cannot accuse the Reggae Girlz of breaching their contract either. You have to come with clean hands. So that doesn't fly. And so, if, you know, you're going to try and get back with the girls by firing their coach, that's going to have implications. If you look at it, September 29, Lon Donaldson's contract was not renewed. October 18, the World Cup squad withdraws their services from competing in the World Cup. Now, I know that people are going to say, well, the girls didn't say it's because of Lon Donaldson, why they're not offering up their services. It's because they never get paid. It's the money why they didn't come and play. Really? So you are saying that if Lon Donaldson was still the coach of Jamaica, that the Reggae Girlz would still strike in the way that they have and withdraw their services? So Lon Donaldson would still be the coach of Jamaica, even though they haven't get the money that they claim that they haven't gotten. And it might be true, I'm just using claim because I don't know who got what. But the money that they claim that they haven't gotten, if Lon Donaldson was still the coach, they would still have the same problem and still not turn up to play. I don't think so. And I know Bonnie Shaw said that, you know, oh yeah, I mean, of course, we know that, you know, coaches get changed all the time. We're players, we understand that. We come in and do the job anyway. I personally don't think if Lon Donaldson was still the coach that we would see the Reggae Girlz striking. So obviously, you tried to get back at the girls by removing Lon Donaldson, JFF. And, you know, if you really want to go there, you know, Lon Donaldson might have been wrong in what he did. That's how I see it. So I think the reason why Lon Donaldson was not renewed, some of you know the story about there was a trip for the Reggae Girlz out to somewhere in Jamaica, and Elaine Walker Brown, I think her name is, the woman that's over the the women's program in the JFF. She wanted to travel on the bus with the Reggae Girlz, and Lon Donaldson stood in front of the way and said, "No, you're not coming on the bus because the girls don't want you here. They say if you come on the bus, they're gonna get up and leave." Elaine Thompson Brown, I might be badgering the name, but Elaine Walker Brown, if she was so she didn't believe that. She kind of thought that either Lon Donaldson was making this up or he is upholding it. He's not trying to do anything. And listen, I do believe that Lon Donaldson could have gone over to the girls and said, "Hey girls, look, I know you don't want her on the bus, but she is a part of the JFF. And let's just bite our tongue and just make sure ride with us, and just deal with it later." Or London also could have said, "Okay, I told you that they don't want you on the bus, so if you get up, I told you." And then step out of the way, allow her to come on the bus, and then make the girls them get up themselves and show that, No, I don't believe that. No, while I do believe that Lon Donaldson was wrong in stopping Elaine Walker Brown from coming on the bus, I do not believe that him stopping her from coming on the bus should equal him being fired as Jamaica's coach. I don't believe that. That is like using a sledgehammer to kill an ant. No, I know Elaine Walker Brown's ego may have been hurt by it. And again, I do believe that Lon Donaldson was wrong, but I don't think you have to take it that deep that no, you're going to get back and say, you do that to me? Watch me and you're not walk back for Jamaica in your life again, because that's kind of the attitude it was. Lon Donaldson wasn't fired for footballing reasons. He did an excellent job with his team. He wasn't fired for footballing reasons. So to see him being let go, if I'm to follow this correctly, if he got let go because of that incident, we have some really fragile egos in Jamaica's football. That's all I can say. No, a lot of what I'm saying is hearsay, to be honest. I will admit that. So I can't say it's true or it's lie. But it seemed like something either go so or it go close to so. You know how we say in Jamaica? Something either go so or it go close to so. So if that is the reason why the egos were bruised and Lon Donaldson ended up being fired after creating history and serving his country that well, my thing is, listen, if a man has done, I've created that amount of history for Jamaica, I am willing to forgive the one this. The man served this country proud and did us well. So that is why I say it's like using a sledgehammer to kill an ant. Because if you look at the grievance that you have with him, the sin that he committed in comparison to the history that he created, how can you use this speck of sin to punish him after making that big impact globally? I don't think it was right. I don't think Lon Donaldson was right to do what he did. But I don't think it was a fireable offense. You could have called him in and speak to him about it. But maybe you say you do it. I don't know. We know that communication is a problem in the JFF. So I don't know if that happened. So, you wanted to get back at the girls. So you fired their coach. You know that they liked Lon Donaldson. You didn't want Lon Donaldson there to begin with because you put in Vin Blaine there initially. And they didn't want to work with Vin Blaine. So now you want to get back at them and get back control. I mean, I don't think when you are of that mindset and of that spirit, you can really negotiate in good faith because you're hurt. And so you want to get back at the other person. And so you're negotiating with that spirit in mind. And I don't know, if what we hear happen is true, then it's even worse because we hear that the JFF, you have this like mentality or approach of the boss worker. Like we are your bosses and you are our workers. It doesn't work like that anymore, JFF. This is 2023. You see, back in the 1990s, when Jamaica never, you could have said never know nothing about international football. Like, just forget play a game of foreign was a big deal. Just for play for Jamaica and go to a different country and play for Jamaica was a big deal at first. So players would put up with a lot of crap from the administration because they feel very privileged to be able to go on the plane and go to another country, play for Jamaica and come back on the plane and come back and say, yo, I'm going to play for Jamaica. I remember them time then, okay, when we did little, just to get called for Jamaica was a big deal. The money didn't matter at that time. Yes, you wanted to be paid, but if you never get paid, you're not gonna really say nothing about it because at the end of the day, you want to play for Jamaica. So why if them not really pay me now is whatever. I want to keep my place on the thing, so I'm not gonna really say nothing. That was then. And so you could, and I know because it happened even with musicians. So those of you who are touring musicians will know this. Sometimes musicians go up on tour and them not get no money for go up on tour. Them only get per diem. Sometimes they don't even get that. So them a bandsman, them a backing band for artists. Them get promised a certain amount of money for play certain amount of show abroad. Them play the show them and don't even get paid. And them have to just easy and take it because the experience is more important. I'm suggesting to you, JFF, that today's player is different. Today's player they're playing in professional organizations or professional clubs where they're treated professionally. They're given professional money. They have people taking care of their bodies and telling them to watch how they eat and when to wake up and when to eat and when to sleep and when to... They know these things. And you cannot take the approach that I am your boss and you are my worker. There are intelligent people now. They're college graduates. They're intelligent people. They're not going to take you just trying to brush something under the carpet with them. They want to be treated professionally. And so you have to ask yourself the question, JFF, right? You have to ask yourself this question. Do I come up in my level of professionalism, or do I remain unprofessional and let them bend and try to bend them to my will? Because that's what I see you doing. You're trying to bend the girls to your will. You're trying to bend the program to your will. And I would recommend, if you don't have to take my foolish advice, is you need to look within JFF and say, we need to be more professional. And you need to put that in your pipe and smoke it. You need to accept it. You need to accept that we are not a professional organization and we need to change. We need to improve our level of professionalism. And don't take it out on the players. Take it out on yourselves. You need to put competent people in your organization. You need competent people in positions that are important to the success of the football program. You cannot have people booking flights for players and the players not making it back. Okay? You need to put competent people in position. And you need to leave your ego at the door when you're dealing with the nation's football. This is not your personal thing. You're dealing with the nation's football. So leave your ego at the door, JFF. So you're wrong, JFF. You never negotiated in good faith. You negotiated with an ego. All right, that's enough for the JFF. Reggae Girlz, you were wrong for not coming to represent your country. Yes, you were. You were wrong for not coming to represent your country. Your country needed you, and you decided that because you weren't paid, or maybe because your coach was fired, that you weren't going to come and play. And you have to realize that while most of the fans sympathize with your position, as a matter of fact, a lot of the fans actually will take your stand or take your side and say, you know, you have a legitimate gripe or a legitimate grouse with the JFF. You know, I would agree with that. You have a legitimate gripe and a legitimate grouse with the JFF. At the end of the day, that's not who you're playing for. You're not playing for the president or the general secretary or anybody else in the JFF. Those are not the people you're representing. You're representing Jamaicans, the entire country of Jamaica. I like to say the entire continent of Jamaica. Because you know, so we're big and we're broad already. We're there everywhere. We're there in the US, Canada, we're there in North America, Europe. You're representing the continent of Jamaica. So when you have a few people with an ego in the JFF, you cannot allow that to get in front of the greater good. As we'd say in Jamaica, you can't chop off your nose for spite your face. You can't chop off your nose to spite your face. You were wrong for not coming to play for Jamaica. I'm gonna care what nobody wants to say, because everybody wants to say, yo, they're on the Reggae Girlz side. I'm on your side too, but I can call a spade when I see it. You should have come and played for Jamaica, because you're not playing for the JFF. You're playing for these fans, and some of the fans are disappointed. I am disappointed that you didn't come and play. You could have come and play and fight the battle in a more public way. What you did at the World Cup, did you remember what you did at the World Cup? You qualified for the World Cup, you went to the World Cup, and you fought a very public battle when the entire world was looking. You could have done the same thing at the Gold Cup. You never had to do it this way. Because look at the implications of what has happened. No, there is no Gold Cup football for us to watch as fans. There is no opportunity for the Reggae Girlz to showcase their talent in the US in the inaugural tournament. We're the number 3 ranked Concacaf team in Concacaf, and we're not there. That's unacceptable. That's really terrible. No, you have missed an opportunity to showcase yourself. Other girls that may not have a professional contract. A lot of people get professional contracts out of these big tournaments. No, that opportunity is gone. And then if that wasn't bad enough, no, we are hearing that there's no competitive fixture in 2024. The next time you'll pay a competitive fixture is in 2025. That has to, that has to sting. No, it may just be, as some have posited, that, is whatever. Like, we knew what we were getting into. We were willing to take that risk and all of that. Listen, I don't believe that. I don't believe that you really knew that this could lead to where it has led to now. And the sad thing about it is also that some players who are on the World Cup squad may have just played their last game for Jamaica in the Concacaf, in the Olympic qualifying thing that they played against Canada. Some of them probably will never play for Jamaica again, at least never on a competitive level. Some of them probably will never play for Jamaica. Maybe the Gold Cup would have been their last hurrah. And now that's gone. That opportunity is gone. So now you're looking at girls whose international career probably has now come to an end because of the strike action. Reggae Girlz, this is not good. The stance that you took was too harsh. You have to remember that when your nation calls you to play, it's not. You have to remember who you're representing. I know you're hurt. I know the JFF hurt you, but they are not the ones you're representing. So you cannot let us as fans suffer because of what the JFF has done to you. And it's not only us as fans are suffering, you are suffering too. And then finally, unless it may be a little bit less concerning, the JFF suffers because there's no money in their coffers now. So as I said up front, we all lose. So Reggae Girlz, you're wrong too. You played a role in this. You have played a role in this. And I know a lot of people don't want to say it, but it's true. The country suffers because we don't have any football to watch. You suffer because you don't have any football to play, and you don't have the opportunity to expose more players. The JFF suffer because no money is coming in their coffers. And in general, we just all suffer for it. That's my third point. I'm just going to try and hurry up and go through my final points. My fourth point is you're both wrong, JFF and Reggae Girlz, because you made the perfect the enemy of the good. Have you ever heard that term before? You made the perfect the enemy of the good. In a perfect world, you'd have had your coach that you wanted. The girls would have gotten paid the full amount and the right amount. And the JFF wouldn't feel disrespected. And everybody would live in peace and harmony. And the Reggae Girlz would come and play and beat Panama and beat Guatemala and top the group and qualify automatically to the inaugural Women's W Gold Cup. That would be in a perfect world. But just because it's not perfect doesn't mean that it can't be good. It can be good. The good that could have come out of it is that you could have qualified the team, qualified Jamaica for the inaugural Women's Gold Cup, and then fight your battle on the international stage, just like you did in the World Cup. Bring attention. You would have got it. Wouldn't it have made more sense? Because now you have the international media paying attention, and that's putting more pressure on the JFF now. But no, we all suffer for it. JFF, you are wrong as well. And I have already spoken at length about how wrong you are, but you're both wrong. You made the perfect the enemy of the good, both of you. And then finally, I have to say, my fifth point is a lot of people are out there saying that we have to reset the Reggae Girlz, we have to bring on a new set of girls to move forward and all of that. I don't really agree with that opinion. There's no easy replacement for Bunny Shaw. And I know a lot of our fans, we have a specific place in our heart for Jody Brown and Trudy Carter and Rebecca Spencer and so on and so forth. I could call more. Drew Spence, on. Listen, we can't just throw away people just because, we have to respect the fact that this team qualified us for the World Cup and they did an excellent job. I don't believe in just doing away with them. Because it's not like the girls were wrong and the JFF were right. They were both wrong. So if you're going to say, let's just reset and dash for the girl, then make a reset and dash for the JFF too. And start over with a brand new set of people everywhere. But I don't think that's going to serve us in football. We might have missed out on the Gold Cup, but hopefully we can sit down like adults, JFF and Reggae Girlz. Hopefully you can mature a little bit. I'm going to mean that disrespectfully. But the truth of the matter is some of the actions have been immature. Some of your actions have been immature. So I'm hoping that you can mature, JFF and the Reggae Girlz, sit down and dialogue. Mature, sit down and dialogue and come to an amicable agreement. JFF, you can't have a JFF if there are no players. Yeah? And girls, there's no Jamaica to play for if you don't have a federation. So you guys need each other. As much as you don't want to probably admit it, you need each other. And the people who is in the JFF now is the JFF running the JFF. And the people who is playing for the Reggae Girlz is them playing for the Reggae Girlz. It's them is the best team for playing for the Reggae Girlz. So stop act like, say, JFF, we can just dash with them girl and bring in a brand new set of girls and work. Because, you tried it and it didn't work. I guess you were kind of hoping to bring in a brand new set of girls. Hopefully these set of girls qualified you for the Gold Cup. And then you could have said, yeah, we don't need, Maybe that was your thoughts. Maybe that's what you wanted to do. It didn't work. Stop acting like the World Cup girls are disposable and you can just throw them away and just, add a different girl. Confront the issues that you have. Don't run away from it. And if communication is the problem, are you really satisfied that you tried your best to sit down and have a meeting with the girls? And girls, the same thing. In the same way where the JFF could have picked up the phone and call you. Have you, girls, are you satisfied that you have tried your best to sit down and talk with the JFF? Have you exhausted all of your options and done that? And if the answer to that is no, because you know, when you want to reach somebody, you know, you ring off them phone all 10 times if you need to reach them. I'm going to try 2 times today and 3 times today. I'm going to get them and I wait for the rest of the day and then now answer me. I call them back tomorrow. I now stop until I get them. Was that the approach you took? Or was it a type of very cursory, you know, attempt at contacting them? You know, where, oh, if them see it, but if them don't see it, watch, me go slam down the arm upon them. And they miss the meeting, what? Me suspend you. You know? You can't have that approach where you're trigger happy. Like the least little mistake them get, me go pull the trigger upon them. You know, so you have to consider that. Look, anyway, I don't want to make my thoughts any more longer. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. So I'm going to leave it here. At the end of the day, JFF and Reggae Girlz, please sit down and talk about it. Be adults and talk about it. And let's get past this and get back to football. And so I'm just going to leave it here. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for being here and taking this in. On your way out, please hit the like button as it helps to send the video out to more eyes. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button as it helps to grow the channel. And until next time, take care of yourself. I'm out.